think you said study, no one said DCED for sure there. I mean, that's the kind of questions he had, and I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Let me do this, because I've already reached out to Peters. Let me reach out to North Urbane and see who they had do their study.
Well, who did Peterson?
I don't have it in front of me. I can go back and look.
What did it cost?
Yeah,
Because
I mean, those are things
DCED is a
that I
lot
have.
different than
Those are things that I have from Peters. Let me reach out to North Urbane. I mean, those are all factors. We can't say no to the DCED study because you may not necessarily like the person doing it and spend $50,000 or whatever it is to have a study done from somebody in Florida. So,
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying.
you know,
And I agree
and
with
I'm truly not giving you a hard time. I think we had a good meeting, but
that.
there's no point, and it's really the ball's in your court, there's no point in moving forward with 2 of 3.
Oh, we're all in agreement that there needs to be an unbiased study. And they're worried about having an unbiased study.
Can I ask why? Like, why would there be a bias if somebody from
Because one of the people in the last study actually was a member of one of the departments at one time. He has a history.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like you coming into the next, you go with North Urbane, oh, your zoning guy does this, your public works does this, you're fresh, you have no history. But if you worked there 5 years ago, then go back with an agenda, then people...
Let me do this.
And trust me, I wasn't here, I don't care.
We can probably,
We inflated it.
we can probably request from DCED a list of evaluators that they would present. And then we might be able to, with their assistance, agree on one that we find that has no bias, nobody from Washington County.
Right, exactly.
Or somebody like that.
And
That's something we can
And
ask.
that's a legitimate question, that's all he's asking.
Sure, we can do that.
All right, DJ, maybe our first step, rather than putting the onus on them, is to see if the DCED would cooperate with that and give us a list that our 3 departments can agree to. If they see a list and they agree to it, then we know we can go full steam ahead.
Right, and I'm with you, I hope that works out. If not, we were just considering some type of blind study that, hey, forget it. You hire a consultant, and they say, Cecil Township has 27 square miles, there's 12,000 people, this is where the population is, this is where the industry is. If you were starting from scratch, what would you do? Or what do you need to support that township? Someone about to get
Dawn, will you contact the
What's that?
district?
That makes sense.
And get the information.
Does that make
from them?
sense? Yeah.
Yeah, can we get on?
I mean, shouldn't you consider what we already have?
Once they look at the list.
Well, once they say what you should have, then you realize, then you compare it to what you do have, and then you put the pieces together.
And what we can have.
You see what I'm saying? In the perfect world, we're starting from scratch, this is what you need. Okay.
But can I be honest, and
Yeah.
I'm not aiming this at anybody,
Yeah.
it's difficult to get all the information from all the different fire departments and put it together. If you're asking for who's going to be the one that puts that final piece and says, okay, this is what we do have. And if it's internal, how is it then independent? Does it not defeat the purpose of the whole study?
No.
No. That's what the study, it's a study.
That's exactly.
He's saying that we get a study that doesn't actually study the fire departments we have, but would study the needs, and then the fire departments say,
That's all part of it. That's all part of what the DCD can do.
Okay, can we get on to
I
the
think
second issue?
Right, so, but that's why we asked for the common software to upgrade, get us all on the same page, to be able to do the same reports like you asked for, and you would actually have access to any call. Hey, what calls did they have last week? Don would be able to do the report or see where manpower is going, who responded, and that was something as a start to unify the process of reporting.
All right, Steve, we're going to contact the DCD for right off the bat and see if they'll supply a list, and then we'll...
That's fine.
Then the onus will be on you then, these 3.
All right, the next
That's
issue.
fine, that sounds good.
The next issue that I think is very important, and I really thought that this had happened in the past, but we have a lot of new residents as well. I live in Cecil Township, and my address is Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. Cindy lives in Cecil Township, and her address is McDonald. And unless everyone notifies their insurance carrier that they live in Cecil Township, the money that they pay for fire insurance, the portion of it that should come back to the municipality, goes instead to the municipality that is their address, McDonald or Canonsburg, and it doesn't go to Cecil Township. And we have 7 different zip codes here in Cecil Township. We have Cecil, we have McDonald, we have Canonsburg, we have Muse, we have Bridgeville, and there are 2 more, I don't remember what they are. But many of those are getting our money that we're entitled to. So my suggestion to try to help solve this is in February, when the real estate taxes go out, a letter be sent with them explaining to residents, reminding the old residents, teaching the new residents that that money should go to Cecil Township, not to Bridgeville or Canonsburg or McDonald. Now, is that something that we can do?
Yes, to notify for the residents to notify their insurance carrier of
their residents,
which municipality
Yes.
they actually reside
Yes,
in,
exactly.
and not report their mail to.
Dawn, is that something that you can do and let us approve before it goes out?
Yeah, you mean prepare a draft letter to that effect?
Yeah. I've
How,
already talked to you about the generators for the fire departments.
Is there anything else that letter could address as far as notifying the residents? Because we do have an identity crisis in Cecil Township. That goes without saying. But is there anything else that we could add in that letter?
Well,
Maybe
let's
we could think
it.
about that
Yeah.
and get it done.
Okay, the next issue is the names of the roads, number 1. And I remember several years ago going through this where there were duplicate names of roads, number 1. Number 2, nobody was doing anything about the hydrant locations. And the third thing was that the fire departments are not getting walkthroughs, they're not knowing what's happening in buildings, and they want this before when the building first starts, and also a walkthrough before occupancy. Now, Bruce, I understand this came before you, and I remember that the hydrant locations, this has been an issue for a number of years. The fire departments don't get any input on the hydrant locations. Now, is this something that we can make a policy that it's done on every single permit, occupancy permit, or before that?
What it is, any time that a new development comes in, plans are provided to the local fire departments and for their input.
Do you get them, Smitty?
What you can,
What you guys?
I don't see what
Okay,
you
but it goes to the fire department.
Yes,
There.
I don't think there's a problem with the hydrants per se. The problem is that the newer buildings that we have never been in until we get a fire alarm or
Okay, well,
something.
I have reached out through several emails to the respective fire chiefs in those districts, and I put them, again, contact information on the building owner, contractor, and developer to make arrangements before occupancy for general walkthroughs. I'm ready to do that with the Main Street apartments in South Point. That's an ongoing thing. That I do reach out to the respective departments, ask.
When you reach out, you send them a letter?
I send them by email.
You have my email now, right? Because I sent you something from my
Yes, sir.
website.
I did receive
Send that
that,
information to me, I'll make sure.
and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Bill, do you get this?
I have not, I've gotten some, actually I've gotten some from the other departments, but I'll give you an example, Universal Electric, Bruce, that they just added the 40,000 square foot addition. They
Yeah.
moved the hydrant from the parking lot to the other side of the parking lot, and I never knew that. I went up on my own and found that out.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not aware of that either, because building inspection should have advised me of that. I'm sorry.
And that's just communication issues that we want to resolve, because to pull up at 3 in the morning, look for a hydrant that's not there, it's across the road now, it's, more chaos than we need.
And somebody can die and we'll be responsible for it. So I'm asking you, Bruce, to coordinate with all 3 fire departments, keep them fully informed.
I do, and like I said, when the emails go out, I send it to the respective chief in that.
Okay,
In
but
that
they're saying
district,
that they're not being
well,
informed.
I can't comment on that.
Well, you just admitted that you didn't have that one to give us, because you didn't know.
I didn't know.
So, I mean, that, and it's not a blame game, we're trying to say, we need this kind of information, let's hope now with the code enforcement officer, with some help, maybe we won't have these issues. I know a lot of your stuff's done by contractors, like when the sprinkler system is tested, we'd like to know before occupancy when it's tested, we can see where the connections are in that, and I know that's tough.
The only thing I could do is I could talk to our building inspection staff and make them more aware, but I have talked to them about it previously.
Yeah, because we need to know where the fire department connection is, where the sprinkler shut-offs are and everything, and we've got a lot of building going on, and we're not getting it, and that's just the way it is.
Bruce, I mean, a foolproof method would be to have a checklist for that occupancy. They got to have a sign off from the fire department.
But if they want
I'm
to,
not advocating that right now, but I'm saying that would, if that's a part of them getting an occupancy permit, they have to have the thing from the fire department, they're going to call them.
I mean, Mr. Chairman, I guess we could do that as a courtesy, but it all comes right down to the statewide building code that the fire department could not prevent any type of occupancy from happening, regardless.
We could have in our ordinance that just like we put in our ordinance about the sewer permits. That has nothing to do with the state building inspection. If we say you don't get an occupancy until you pay the bill, till the sewer tap is resolved, and you don't get, until the fire department signs off on it, they don't get an occupancy. That has nothing to do with the state on their code.
No.
Right, I appreciate that, Tommy. We're not asking to certify any installation, we're just asking to get a visit, know what's going on before it's moved in, so we know how to handle
They'll
it.
call you in a second, because that's the most important thing. They want that occupancy permit from the town.
Exactly, but we're not the code enforcement, we just want a courtesy visit, we can check off our list, we need a plan, we got a key, a Knox box or key or whatever, go to this side of the building, we're done. I think that could be part of the checklist, I really appreciate that.
okay, the next thing was the road names. Apparently, the fire departments are not getting the names of the roads and would like to have the road names before any construction begins, even if it's a temporary sign that's put up at the road, what its name is, so that if there's a fire, they know what's going on, and they can find it. Did I state that?
I guess the bottom line is there's new development going in and we're getting calls to areas that don't exist in our reports.
Overlook's a prime example. We had that gas main get hit over there a few weeks ago. They give us an address of 2064 Gantry Lane, because that's the only home that was built at the time. That's the only physical address they could give us, but it was on the other side of the road.
Well, in that respect, in terms of the overlook plan, I have provided back in April, because once again, that particular fire department district, I did provide them with a comprehensive map
That's why I'm asking.
and detailed coloring of it, indicating the street names and the address and so on and so forth. I did provide that in April.
He understands, he says, you know where to send it out.
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate that.
And then the final issue is,